Hey guys, it's Adrian, and I reviewed a ton of headphones and earbuds so far, but I've always been curious about this open ear style of them. So when Edifier offered to send out their brand new Comfo Run open ear headphones, I was really curious to see how well these would work. Because I definitely know I'm taking a bit of a performance hit in terms of audio quality. Obviously, these are not going to be in-ear and they're not going to create, a full seal. So I know there's going to be some compromise, but how much? Well, I'd like to share my thoughts with you after using these for a little over 2 weeks, and a big thank you to Edifier for sending this out for review. In the box, we have the headphones, magnetic charging cable, and manual. Now, these are very compact. You can see they fit into the palm of my hands, and they're very lightweight, coming in at 34 grams. Now, on the right side, we do have the Edifier logo and an LED indicator light here, and we have clickable buttons. Let's see if you could hear that. So those are very tactile, and I always love having buttons. Now, we also have metallic charging contacts when we need to charge these up. And then located at the end is where we have the Edifier logo. It has a shiny finish and it's protected against this type of plastic dome. It actually looks really nice, kind of sleek. Now on the inside we have a speaker grill here. Now on the other side, same thing with the logo, another grill up here and then one on the inside there. And the finish is very comfortable. It's very smooth and soft, kind of rubbery but not too rubbery. So it's this type of skin-friendly liquid silicone coating that Edifier is describing it as, and it is super comfortable. You can wear these with glasses or with a hat, no problem at all. Now you can see if I just leave this hanging here, it's very bouncy and springy like that, and that's because this is actually not adjustable manually. It's just as it stretches out, it's just gonna stay in place for different types of head sizes. Specs include 16.2mm dynamic drivers, there's Bluetooth 5.3, and codecs are SBC and AAC. The battery is a 140 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, good for up to an impressive 17 hours. The headphones come in at around 34 grams. Getting these paired for the first time is super easy. We're just gonna press and hold the power button here. So it's powered on and now it's in pairing mode. I'm just gonna scan with my phone and it should find it right here, Comfo Run. Pair. And you can see it's connected and it's that easy. Now if I go into the options here, we only have the option for calls and audio. There is no other type of audio setting. The button controls on here are done perfectly. So a single volume up will increase the volume. You could do that multiple times. Same for volume down. Now if you long press on volume up, you're gonna go to the next track. And if you long press on volume down, you'll go back to the previous track. Now if you just do a quick press on the power button, it's gonna pause the music. And then you could resume. You could do a triple tap on the power button to put it into game mode and to exit out of game mode. And in game mode, you'll have as low as 80 milliseconds of latency. And then you could just double tap on the power button to bring up your voice assistant. Anytime you have an incoming call, you also have controls to accept that call or reject it. Let's take a look at the Edifier Connects app, which is a different app than the Connect app. Now, once you open it up, we could see the battery level on here, and you can change between a bass boost equalizer or the classic equalizer. I've been using the bass boost. I generally prefer that. You can also turn game mode on or off right from here if you don't want to use the button controls. Now, we can also go into the options here, and this is where we'll see the firmware version. We can access the manual, and we can also change the prompt volume. It's just going to prompt you anytime you turn game mode on or off, your pairing, etc. And then you could set that all the way to 0. You're not gonna hear any prompt callouts, but instead you're gonna hear a gap in the audio or music when you're listening where the prompt would normally be. Ideally, there should be no gap or delay. It should just, leave your music playing, but just something to keep in mind. At least we can control it. From here, we can also go ahead and power off the device, or we can set it to automatically go off if there's no audio source, or we can schedule a power off as well. So we have a bunch of options there. However, there's no options to remap the controls, which is fine for me because it's exactly how I want it. Now, the pedometer feature, you can go ahead and start that. It's gonna track your steps, and you can go ahead and play music or do whatever you want to, and then just come back to it. But just remember that, if you do turn off the headphones before you come back to it, you're not going to see how many steps were walked. So something to keep in mind. And, it doesn't actually automatically sync with other fitness apps, so you have to manually enter in that data. And then into Bluetooth settings, we can just disconnect and repair. So very basic features there, and we can of course factory reset it. Now if I just go into the user profile here, this is where you could just see where the headphones are. So it's just going to pull up a map. I'll do that really quickly, and it's just showing my, kind of approximate address. I don't want to really show that. And that's about it for the app experience. All right, let's talk about comfort. And this is one of the areas where these truly shine. So this is what they look like when they're on. And you can see right now I'm wearing them without glasses. But if I was to put my glasses on, there's absolutely no issue. They easily stay on, they still remain comfortable. And I'm really glad that Edifier went with this type of design. This type of soft silicone material truly is comfortable. Anytime you're wearing headphones, it can, kind of get heavy, it presses on your head, or it clamps down, or it makes it kind of sweaty. There's none of those issues with this open ear style. Now, if you look at earbuds, yes, you're not going to have anything wrapping around the back of your head. So you can say, yes, those are, potentially way more comfortable than having a band going around the back of your neck. However, with those, once they're in your ear for a while, they kind of expand things, and they do tend to get uncomfortable after, say 2 to 3 hours of continuous wear. But with these, I can kind of go the entire day, a half day of wearing them, and I truly don't notice them. The weight is evenly distributed and balanced on these. Now, unlike earbuds where you can wear pretty much anywhere, in the bed, at the gym, at the office, these are a little bit more limited. And this is why, because you can see right now the band is here, but if I put any pressure here, it moves it forward and, out of the ideal alignment or positioning with my ear. So imagine you're in bed late at night and you're laying down on your pillow. Well, it's gonna, push these forward and out of position, and it's gonna compromise the audio or listening experience. And it's the same as if you're working at your desk and you have kind of like, a headrest on your chair and you lean back. Well, it's kind of going to be the same thing where it's going to push it a little bit out of position. Now, you can still hear audio. Of course, it's not going to be the best, but it's not going to be as comfortable. So, in that regard, the use case for this is a little bit more limited. With all that being said, these are obviously called a Comfo Run. They're meant for, active people or active lifestyles. But just if you wanted to buy, kind of one pair of headphones where you could use it, throughout the day, just a heads up. When I read that these were not adjustable, I was a bit curious how the fitment would be, because obviously, there's a whole bunch of different head sizes and shapes. But I had a couple of people try these on, and they didn't really need to adjust them, or they didn't comment that anything was out of place. Obviously, in terms of the alignment or positioning, for some head sizes, it's probably going to be more optimally there, whereas on others, you may need to, kind of lift it up, and you see it actually stays in place. Obviously, with time and movement, it's going to set back down. But for the most part, I found it to perform pretty well, even though there's no adjustability. All right, so let's talk about the sound performance. And obviously, everyone knows this is not going to sound as good as any type of earbuds or headphones. It is open ear. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of sound leakage as well. However, it's actually pretty well managed. So, whenever the volume was at around, say, 50 to 60%, or higher, that's when I started noticing, a little bit of sound leakage. And that was with me standing, say, about, 5 to 6 feet away from the person in a fairly quiet room. But I would say, if you're on a bus or anywhere where there's decent enough ambient noise in, like a coffee shop or anything, even if you listen at, say, 50, 60, 70%, there shouldn't be much sound leakage, even if someone is sitting, say, 3, 4, 5 feet away from you. Now, Edifier mentions that there's 16.2 millimeter drivers on here and an enhanced bass algorithm. And when I listen to music, I watch YouTube, type of podcast, any type of thing like that, everything sounded great, but nothing was truly outstanding. The bass response is quite good if you have these properly positioned and they're kind of pressed in. Of course, it's going to sound good, but you can never press it in and hold it. It's just going to bounce right back out a little bit because of your ear anatomy. The other thing is, once I have these properly positioned, the bass response is great, but throughout the day or when you're active, this is going to sag a little bit or move or hit my, sweater collar here and get moved out of position. Now, is it going to have a huge or detrimental effect on the listening experience? Not really. The basses never truly stand out to the point where, as these move and shift around, you're thinking, oh, that was a huge drop in bass response. Overall, it's a very balanced sound. The clarity is actually quite good considering it's open ear, but it's obviously not going to compare to headphones or earbuds. Now, saying all of that, after coming from the Edifier Neo Buds Pro 2 and the 950NB, I'm in actually no rush to get rid of these and go back to, these headphones or earbuds. Obviously, the sound quality is superior on that, but the comfort and battery life that I'm getting on here it's an easy trade-off for me to, just keep using this, and I actually think I will keep using them. So yeah, these are a solid option. They're not going to be the best audio type of performance, but it's surprisingly good considering these are open ear headphones. Another thing to note is that even when you set these to 100%, they get very loud and there's no distortion. But because of the open ear design, you're never going to be able to just cancel out or drown out, any type of ambient noise. So, whenever you're on an airplane and it's super loud and you put on, nice headphones with a good seal or with ANC, you can really limit or minimize that. But with this, say I was to drop my wallet from 12 inches and it hits my desk, I would still hear that even though these are at 100% volume. But on the flip side, these also make a great option because you could be, listening to music, listening to a podcast or something like that, but still be, very aware of your surroundings and goings on. And that's one of the reasons why I've been really enjoying using these is that, I don't feel I'm trading off, too much in terms of sound quality, because the other benefits that I get, being kind of present in the moment, the comfort, the battery life, just make this a wonderful option. I just want to demo sound leakage because they've done a very good job. Now you can see I have my model here, and it's not a super secure fit on there or seal, but it actually does quite a good job. So I'm just going to play it in a very quiet room in the basement. The microphone is about 2 feet away, and I can barely hear anything. So I'm going to crank the volume up to maybe 60 to 70%. I could hear a little bit now. Again, this is a dead silent room. If I was in a coffee shop, on the bus, you would not hear anything. I'm just going to increase it. And now I can easily hear, the sound leaking out from here. Of course, when this is on a human ear, it's going to be a little bit better, but they've actually done a good job on here. I've set the max volume on the headphones. I'm going to bring it close to the camera's microphone, and I'm just going to play some video. For high-res audio, it also has active noise cancellation. It has 40mm drivers and up to an impressive 55 hours of playtime. One of the most. So I'm hoping you heard some of that. It does get quite loud without any type of distortion, but it's not going to drown out ambient noise. Thanks to the 2 microphones located on each side, I've been using these for meetings and phone calls, and I haven't had any type of complaints from the other parties. And anytime I would use other type of headphones or earbuds, sometimes I would get those complaints. So I'm actually quite surprised that, something kind of designed for people on the go or for maybe, more gym use or active use actually sounds as good as it does. But here's a sample of what that sounds like. If you're going to be using the headphones for meetings or for the occasional phone call, the audio actually sounds quite usable and pretty clear. The battery life claim on here of 17 hours on the box is actually fairly accurate because, listening to these with the volume set around, 60 to 70%, I could easily get between 15 to 16 hours, which is just amazing, considering the size of these and just how lightweight they are. And, I could wear this pretty much the entire day without really noticing them. That is truly excellent battery life. And, whenever it actually goes down and you need to top it up, well, a quick 15-minute charge will give you up to 5 hours, and a full charge just takes 1.5 hours. So, these are really suited for, anyone who's on the go. The only thing I have to say is that obviously to charge it, you have a proprietary charging dock, so you want to make sure you never lose that or damage it. I also want to touch on the Bluetooth range and connection strength, something I don't normally talk about, but it's been super impressive on here. So I left my phone on the kitchen table, and I had to walk to my home office to get something I forgot, which is about, at least 50 feet away. And even though I didn't maintain a clear line of sight with the phone, I was behind a wall, there was no audio dropout. So I said, okay, let me go upstairs to the opposite end of the house, no audio dropout. I went to the basement, opposite end of the house, no audio dropout. And I think that's the first time I've ever been able to do that. So the Bluetooth range on here and the connection strength is just amazing. So I have to say that I was a little bit skeptical when I got the Edifier Comfo Run open ear headphones. And anytime I saw any style of open ear headphones from any brand, I was always, a little bit skeptical because I knew I would be taking, a hit or a little bit of a drop in terms of the audio performance. But what I found is that the other benefits that these provide actually made me forget that really quickly. So if you've been thinking of getting any type of open ear headphones, start with the Edifier Comfo Run. This is a great balance of comfort, battery life, the Bluetooth range, and the sound performance is actually good. I don't think you'll be disappointed with these. So I'll leave some links down below if you want to check them out or pick them up for yourself. But if you think you want something a bit more traditional or you want just the best audio fidelity, check out my review here of the Edifier WH950NB. You won't be disappointed in those, and I'll also leave links to some other headphone reviews and earbud reviews as well. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one soon.